Hey, good day everyone. Today we'll be discussing trusses, frames, and machines. So, in this particular topic, di-discuss natin yung analysis of structures. So, papasok kasi siya dun sa trusses, frames, and machines. Lalong-lalo na yung trusses, whereas yung trusses is magagamit nyo talaga starting now until sa structures nyo. Gamit na gamit siya. Then sa frames and machines, it is all the same naman with regards to its computation part. So, dito matatakal natin yung method of joints, method of sections, and methods of frames. So again, ang frames and machines, iisa lang naman usually yung pag-compute na sa kanila, which is yung method of frames nga. So dun muna tayo sa truss. So sa truss, ano ba ang definition ng truss? So truss is one of the most significant types of structural structures. So gamit na gamit to, basically sa truss, one of the most used na structures is truss. Okay? Lalong-lalo na sa any type of structures, ito kasi yung most basic. So it provides both a realistic and an economical solution for many engineering situations. So, yun nga, bridge, buildings, and kahit sa atin, ginamit natin to sa aviation. Okay? So, a truss is a structure consisting of slender members at their endpoints linked together, and the members are widely used in building are wooden struts or metal bars. Of course, sa ngayon, gumagamit na rin naman tayo ng composites, of course. So, depende pa rin naman yan. Pero yung computation niya, sa ngayon, yun yung intindihin natin. So, dun tayo sa computation ng trusses or paano natin kukunin yung nararamdaman ng each member pagdating sa truss. Okay? So, sa truss naman, we will tackle here is mostly yung 2D part. Okay? So, planar trusses ang gagamitin natin dito. So, si planar trusses, madalas nagagamit nga siya usually sa roofs and bridges. Okay? So, we have again roof truss. So, sa roof truss, mapapansin nyo, yung loads usually is nasa taas kasi roof nga siya. That unlike kapag bridge truss, so sa bridge truss naman, kung saan dumadaan yung, kung sino man ang dadaan doon sa bridge, doon na pupunta yung load. Or in this case, sa baba, nagkakaroon na external loads. Okay? So, mapapansin nyo dyan guys, we need to clarify na dito, mapapansin nyo yung mga black arrows, yun yung external forces. Ibig sabihin, yun yung nararamdaman ng body, ng whole body, dahil sa mga external forces. So, mapapansin nyo dyan, is yung, ito, most likely, itong dalawa, at saka ito, is yung reactions. Same here, sa bridge truss. Then, the rest yung nasa loob, is yung mga external forces nilalagay natin dun sa truss. So, yung mga support reactions, we're also including it dun sa external forces. Ngayon, usually, kapag trusses, ang inaalam po natin is kung ano yung internal forces or yung nararamdaman mismo ng each member. So, depende kung gaano kadami or kung ano mismo yung hinahanap. In this particular case, madalas yan hinahanap lahat naman ng members. Or if specified, again, yung each member, kung ano yung nararamdaman na load ng each member, so marami yan, each point, yun yung kinocompute natin. Okay? So, si trusses, guys, we are considering it as maraming members. Okay? Each connection, each joint, may member siya. Okay? So, assumptions for design, or ina-assume natin in this particular process or kapag computation, meron tayong assumptions para magamit yung ating computation. So, in order to design the members, the connections of a truss, it is important to determine the force produced in each member. Okay, so as I said kanina, kailangan natin alamin kung ano yung nararamdaman mismo, okay, ng each member ng truss para malaman natin kung ano yung maganda or appropriate design for each member. Okay? Kasi doon natin makikita kung gaano kalaki yung nararamdaman yung load and para maging appropriate yung ating gagamitin na design. Length, width, and thickness. So, depende dun sa loads na nararamdaman. Okay. So, ngayon, again, assumptions for designs. Firstly, we have all loadings shall be applied to joints. Ibig sabihin, yung loads na mararamdaman ng mga trusses is i-apply natin dun sa joint. Okay? This statement is valid in most cases, such as bridge and roof trusses. Pero, okay, frequently kasi sinasabi na nire-neglect natin yung weight ng members. Okay? Pero, in some cases, of course, generally speaking or realistically speaking, alam natin na may weight yung each member. Okay? So yung weight ng each member, it is reasonable to use it as a vertical power. Okay? Kasi nga, ano ba ang weight? Ang weight is vertical lagi, papunta sa center of the earth. So technically, vertical siya, pababa. Ngayon, yung magnitude nun, kakalahatiin mo lang, then i-divide mo sa each end ng member. Ganun po tayo maglagay ng weight pagdating sa method, sa trusses. Okay? Siniseparate lang natin yung mismong weight in each joint kasi nga hinahati lang natin sila. Next assumption is the members are connected by smooth pins. So, paano masasabing smooth pins? Tingnan nyo yung figure dyan sa tabi. Okay? So, typically, the joint connections are created by bolting, welding at the ends of the member. So, commonly, gusset plate yung tawag doon. So, yun yung figure A. Ito. Ngayon, we know na yung each gusset plane, medyo malabo yung figure, pero each of the rivets, most likely, or connections, yun yung magta-translate ng loads. Pero, general lang nga lang, parang pinapasimplify, if we remember last time, sa statics nga, again, sinisimplify natin yung figure as much as possible. So, dahil doon, we are simplifying na isang joint lang yung connection nila. Okay? So, in this case, itong mismong connection or intersection ng lahat ng forces. Or in this case, internal forces. Kasi members lahat yan. So, there we will just be translating yung force from another member to another member gamit yung joints. Okay? So, ganun din naman doon sa figure B, we will presume na yung link serves, itong link na din dito, is isang point lang yung mag-intersect doon sa tatlong members in this particular case. So, concurrent po. Concurrent yung ating ginagamit pagdating sa truss. So, dahil dun sa dalawang assumptions kanina, okay, each member will act as a member of two forces. And therefore, the force acting at either end of the member will be directed along the member's axis. So dito, kailangan po natin malaman mismong dun sa nararamdaman ng body. So makikita natin kanina dun sa mga parang putol, yung sa gusset plates, tsaka dun sa kabila sa figure B, nung previous slide, is may direction. Okay, may direction yung arrow. Kasi kailangan po natin malaman kung papunta or palayo dun sa joint yung mismong force. Okay? Kasi doon natin malalaman kung magte-tension ba or compression yung body. So, ibig sabihin, kapag po, pag naka-tension yung body or yung member itself, for example, this figure A, pag naka-tension siya, we are generally thinking na mag-elongate yung body. Okay? Of course, not in the naked eye, hindi siya makikita, pero mag-elongate siya. Okay? So, next is sa compression. Compression, of course, kinakompress mo nga, sinashorten mo. Ngayon, bakit natin kailangan malaman kung compression or tension? Of course, we need to know para malaman natin kung saan papunta yung force. And another thing is, usually kasi, pagka-compression or nasa compressive load, yung ating mga body or members, usually pinapakapal. Okay? Nagiging thicker yung members nila para malesen yung buckling na magkakaroon dun sa mismong member. Okay? This is for next sem naman na, or strength of materials yun na, if ever man, dun nyo maiintindihan yung kung bakit kailangan maging thicker yung members natin compared sa compression. From compression to the tension. Okay, here, so meron tayo dito nung iba-ibang itsura ng mga truss natin. Okay? So, all of this naman, lahat ng to ay mapapansin nyo, each joint or each connection or each intersection, we are treating it as a joint. Ibig sabihin, each intersection ng dalawang member ay isang joint po. Okay? So, dahil doon, we are treating it as a truss. Okay? Pero, yung lahat ng computation naman nila would be the same. Lahat yan pare-parehas ng pagko-compute. Okay? So again, meron tayo iba-ibang klaseng truss. So roof and bridge, tapos other types. So we have Pratt, Howe, and Fink. So that is for the roof. Okay? So Pratt, Howe, and Fink. Then ganun sa typical bridge trusses naman, meron din tayong Pratt and Howe. Then meron tayong Warren, Baltimore, and K-truss. Then yung other types of truss is Stadium, cantilever portion of a truss, so, and bascule. So, I think yung bascule and cantilever, medyo familiar kayo dyan sa itsura niyan kasi ito yung madalas natin ginagamit dati. ay sa aviation, lalo na nung thrust type structures. At dito naglalaro yung ating mga wings noon or even fuselage. Okay? So, next part of the topic is simple thrust. So, ang simple thrust basically is yung basic trusses. So, three members na connected lang. So, pinaka-basic nga naman na magagawa ng tatlong members, of course, is a basic triangular truss. Okay? So, ito siya, yung left side of the figure. Okay? The truss that is supposed to be rigid means the truss isn't going to collapse. So, yun naman yung ginagawa ng truss, of course. Kailangan, pag nag-apply ka ng load, is hindi siya gagalaw. Okay? So, and in this particular case, bakit nga ba bakit tayo gumagamit ng truss? In cases na kailangan talaga magkaroon ng shape ng body. Okay? So, trusses siya, and if ever man, yun nga, malalaman natin or madidissipate natin yung load na meron. Not unlike pag beam kasi. For example, may beam tayo, nag-apply tayo ng load, yung mismong tatanggap lang ng load is yung beam itself. Usually, mag-isa lang si beam, di ba? So, kaya pumapasok si trusses, frames, and machines para ma-dissipate natin yung load na meron. Ibig sabihin, mas malaki po ang load na kaya natin tanggapin. Okay? So, attaching two additional members. So, dito, kung mag-attach tayo ng two additional members dito, and linking them to a new joint D. So, ito yung itsura, di ba? So, this process can be replicated as many times as needed in order to shape a truss even bigger. Okay? So, bakit ginagawa to? Mapapansin nyo, technically kaya naman ito nung triangular truss lang. Usually, gumagawa tayo ng dagdag. Okay, dinadagdagan natin ng truss na meron. So, in this case, itong member DC and member DA. If ever man, we have changes dun sa load na mararamdaman ng body. Okay? Ibig sabihin, iniisip pa rin natin yung design. Okay? In case na mayroong panibagong load na kailangan maramdaman yung body, we are inputting other members na magkokontra dun sa ating sa ating force, sorry. All of this is called a simple truss part. So, dun tayo sa first method natin as to how to compute yung forces na nararamdaman ng each member. Okay? Okay. Ngayon, again, this is one of the methods na paggamit or pagkuha ng ating members or internal forces ng members natin. Okay, this method is based on the idea na kung yung buong body natin or yung buong truss natin ay naka-equilibrium, ibig sabihin, lahat ng joints natin naka-equilibrium din. Okay? Again, yun yung principle na ginagamit natin sa method of joints. Ibig sabihin, kapag lahat ng forces natin for the whole body is pag nag-summation tayo ng forces or moments is equal to 0, kailangan each point is lahat ng summation of forces din niya is equal to 0. Ngayon, punta tayo dun sa mismong method of joints. Dahil nga method of joints siya, we are including dun sa FBD natin yung each joint lang. Okay? So, i-separate natin yung each joint and kung anong members na nararamdaman dun. Okay? So, kung anong members na mararamdaman dun, yun yung ating kino-consider pagdating dun sa method of joints. Okay? So, since the members of a plane truss are straight members of two forces lying in a single plane, each joint is subjected to a coplanar and concurrent forces. Okay? Dahil nga, joint lang iniintindi natin. And each joint, kung anong member lang na nakakonect sa kanya, yun lang yung force na kailangan nating i-include. Ibig sabihin, again, coplanar and concurrent yung force na meron. So, and if we remember, in the previous terms, dahil nga coplanar and concurrent, ang pwede lang natin gamitin is summation of forces X and Y. Okay, ito lang po ang pwede natin gamitin. Dahil hindi tayo pwedeng mag-summation moment dahil wala tayong perpendicular forces. Kasi nga concurrent na lahat ng force na kino-consider natin pagdating sa method of joints. So, consider natin, for example, a truss pin at joint B dun sa figure na to. Okay? May dinagdag tayong load na 500 or naglagay tayo ng load na 500 sa point B or joint B. There are three forces acting on the pin. Itong pin na to yung B. So, sa pin na yan, we have yung force na external nating 500 newtons and yung forces na meron yung member AB and BC. So, ibig sabihin, in this particular joint B, tatlong forces meron tayo. Yung AB, BC, and yung 500. Okay, let's continue. Yung feed body diagram kanina natin, ito, yung figure natin kanina may feed body diagram yan. So, ito po siya. So, itong dalawa, parehas lang naman yan. Okay, pinapakita lang niya na dito is, remember yung AB and BC, dito, we are considering it as a force na. So, okay lang naman yan. Walang problema. FBD yan eh. We just need to remember, okay, na forces pa rin dyan, or members pa rin yung nararamdaman na force na dyan. So, mapapansin nyo, kaya usually, nakalagay dyan is FBC and FBA, or mismong BC and BA. Depende yan. Okay, nakadepende. And you can also see na dapat we are considering yung assumption natin, o yung assumption natin ng direction. Okay? For example, sa member AB, so ito siya, yung vertical, member AB, pababa yung ginawa niya. Bakit pababa? Okay, bakit pababa? Dahil po, yung FBC is pataas. And yung mismong assumption natin sa FBC is galing din po sa external force nating 500. Okay, so binaliktad ko lang. Pero basically, ang idea dyan is, withdraw lang, dahil itong 500, okay, itong 500 natin is papunta sa right. Ang tanging kukontra po sa kanya is si FBC. Tama? So dahil kukontra sa kanya is FBC lang, automatically, we can assume, again, still assumption pa rin to, we can assume na yung FBC is dapat papunta sa left kasi kukontrahin niya si 500. Okay? And we know na naka-angle siya ng 45 degrees from the AB. So dahil doon, ang direction ni FBC is papunta sa left and pataas. Okay? So, with regards to that, we can also assume yung magiging direction na nga ni FAB. Dahil kukontrahin naman ni FBA or FAB yung pataas na motion ni FBC. Okay? So, doon naglalaro yung assumption natin with regards to the joint B. Ngayon, kailangan po nating tandaan na to simplify it, kapag po yung force natin is papunta sa point na kino-consider natin, in this case is joint B. Okay? If yung arrow natin or yung assumption natin is papunta sa joint B or dun sa joint na kino-consider natin, that is compression. And pag palayo po, that is tension. Okay? So, yun lang naman siya basically. So, when using joint method, always start with the joint that has at least one force. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, dito natin makikita, for example, kung saan natin pwedeng padaliin yung ating computation para mas madali, sorry. Kasi, if we remember, ano bang givens natin in this particular problem? May 500 tayong given lang. And dalawa yung unknown. Okay? So, saan summation forces tayo unang magkakasagot? So, in this particular case, una tayong magkakasagot is si FBC. Kasi nga, si FBC is nakabase lang kay 500. So, ganun siya. We need to know, hanggat kakayanin natin, we need to know or we need to lessen yung unknown nating members. Bakit? Kasi dalawang equation lang ang pwede natin gamitin, which is summation forces X and summation forces Y. So, in cases na marami tayong unknown, okay, marami tayong unknown, kasi dito, sa sample natin, onti lang. Pero in cases na marami tayong unknown, we can try to use rotation of axis. Wait, we'll try to do the example kanina. So, yun yung kanina natin. Itutuloy lang natin siya kanina. So, ito yung siya, same figure. So, again, joint B tayo nagsimula. Okay, joint B tayo nagsimula. Pero guys, pagdating po sa truss natin, any joint, kung saan mo gusto magsimula, walang problema. As long as you could use the joint itself, okay? For example, in this particular simple truss, sa joint A and joint C, kung gagamitin na natin si joint A, kailangan po natin malaman yung reaction sa joint A. Ganun din naman sa point C. Yung reaction ng roller natin or rocker, di ba? Ngayon, dahil nga para mas papadali yung buhay natin, ginamit na natin is si joint B kasi yun na yung meron tayong given na 500. Again, any joint pwede tayong magsimula. Okay? Kahit saang joint pwede tayong magsimula as long as you know kung saan tayo may less unknown. Pag less unknown kasi, mas madaling magkakaroon tayo ng mas mabiling sagot. Mas mabilis na makasagot. Okay? So again, dito sa joint B tayo nagsimula kasi nga meron naman tayong known na 500. And with regards to that, hindi na natin kailangan kunin yung reactions. Okay? Hindi na kailangan kunin yung reactions sa ngayon. Kasi ang hinahanap pa lang natin or nag-start tayo sa joint B. So again, same figure sa kanina natin or FBD sa kanina natin. And ang magiging summation forces natin of course is CX muna. Bakit? Dahil CX is from the 500. Okay? So summation forces X tayo, going right positive. So 500 na positive, minus mo si FBC na may 45 degrees eh. And that should be sine. Okay? Sine 45. So I think you should fairly know kung paano gawin yan. Nasa finals term na tayo, di ba? Ngayon, we can simplify it na meron tayong FBC na 701.1 and again, ginamit ko lang kasi nasa libro. In your own solutions, kailangan po kompleto yan. Okay? So next, dahil meron na tayong FBC, we need to know kung ano yung kanyang direction. Di ba? Dahil direction niya is papunta sa point B, we know na magiging compression siya. Next is summation forces Y kasi meron na tayong FBC. So, si FBC, yun yung gagamitin mo para makuha si FBA. Tama? So, FBC, cosine 45 minus FBA. So, si FBA naman, kasi wala naman siya angle and directly vertical lang siya, minus mo lang talaga siya technically. And, magkakaroon tayong FBA na 500 Newton na naka-tension kasi going away dun sa ating point. So, since the member BC has been calculated, we can proceed to analyze joint C. Okay? So, bakit nga ba sa joint C? Kasi pag nag-joint A pa tayo, may tatlong unknown. Di ba? Sa joint A natin, ang unknown natin is si AC and yung dalawang reaction sa point A. So might as well, doon na tayo sa joint C pumunta. Kasi kapag po ginamit na natin si joint C, ganito ang itsura. Okay? So meron ka lang ang BC here, etong nasa taas, so 707.1, yan yung BC natin. And meron tayong unknown na CA and CY. Kaya lang, ang pinapahanap lang naman is yung nararamdaman ng each member. So, dahil nga, in this case, pwede tayong mag-summation forces X kasi hindi natin kailangan alamin si CY. So, pag nag-summation forces X tayo, we would have yung negative FCA nga, kasi papunta sa left, then plus yung 701.1 na naka-cosine 45, may makukuha tayong CA. Okay? Or force ng member CA na 500 Newton na tension and going away sa point C kaya siya tension. Okay? So dito, kinuha na lang din si CY kasi nandun naman din sa figure pero hindi natin siya kailangan alamin. Okay? Kasi pinapahanap lang naman yung each member eh. In this case, hindi naman pinapahanap si reaction. If ever pinapahanap si reaction, go. Kunin nyo. Ngayon, if you want to check kung tama yung magiging sagot nyo, dapat pagdating sa joint A, may makukuha din kayong sagot na AX and AY. And kapag binali-baliktad nyo yan sa kahit ang joint, dapat mag-equilibrium po sila. Okay? So, ganyan lang naman if you want to check, of course. If you want to check, pwede kayong gumamit pa ng another joint para mag-check nung inyong figure. Any joint will do. Basta alam nyo kung ano yung unknowns na meron ng joint na yun and ano yung meron na kayo. Okay? And of course, to lessen the workload, alamin nyo kung ano yung mas onte yung unknown para mas madali kayong makasagot. Okay, so kapag pinagsama-sama nyo lang naman kanina yung figure natin, mapapansin nyo po na if ever man, pupunta ka sa kabilang joint, kailangan mo matandaan ha, if ever pupunta ka sa kabilang joint, kailangan mo matandaan kung ano yung ginawa mo dun sa previous joint. For example, sa point B, yung ating member BC, yung member BC natin is pupunta sa point ng joint B. So, dapat pag pupunta sa point C, ganun pa rin siya, papunta pa rin sa point C. Remember niyo yan ha, hindi po pwedeng magkabaliktad kasi magkakamali na agad yung sagot niyo. Okay? Remember na dapat kung ano yung meron siya sa kabilang joint, dapat ganun din siya sa kabilang joint natin. Ito yung lang yung magiging itsura niya if you want to know kung ano yung talagang final na figure ng each members at kung ano yung nararamdaman nila. So let's move forward sa zero force members. So ano nga ba si zero force members? Basically, from its name itself, yun yung members na nakakaramdam ng zero force. It doesn't mean na hindi na siya kailangan. Okay? It doesn't mean na hindi na siya kailangan, ha? Ngayon, si zero force member kasi is ginagamit natin in case na gusto natin i-improve yung stability and yun nga, additional support. So, mababasa nyo dyan. So, trust analysis using joint approach is greatly simplified if we can find first we can first classify those members that doesn't support loading. So, yun nga yung zero force members. Okay? So, ngayon, ang kinaganda kasi pag may zero force members, madali siyang hanapin as long as you know kung ano yung conditions ng zero force members. Okay? Again, si zero force members, ginagamit lang siya to improve the stability and provide additional support kung sakaling magkakaroon ng load changes. Kasi yun naman yung nasa real life, di ba? Hindi lang naman dun sa mismong design mo is hindi nagbabago yung loads. So for load changes siya, yun yung talagang ginagamit natin or ginagawa natin is si zero force members. So si zero force members, we can simply identify it by examining its joints. So, for example, meron tayong this truss na to. So, medyo complicated na truss siya, di ba? Ngayon, kailangan mo malaman. Hanapin mo kung ano yung joint na sa tingin mo magkakaroon ng zero force members. Of course, hanapin mo yung less yung unknown para hindi ka nahirap. Usually, nasa mga dulo yan. Huwag kang maghanap ng zero force members sa mga gitna kasi ang daming unknown dyan. For example, sa point E, ilan yung unknown mo agad dyan? 4. Kasi 4 yung nakakonect kay point E. So, hindi mo sigurado kung kung may zero force member dyan and kung meron man, kung alin. Kasi ang dami pang unknown. So, ngayon, pwede nating hanapin kung ano yung sa tingin nating magkakaroon ng zero force members. So, in this particular case, dun tayo kay joint A. So, kay joint A, you know na wala siyang reactions or support reactions and external forces na nararamdaman. Ibig sabihin, pag nag-summation ka kay point A or joint A, zero na agad parehas kasi summation of forces dapat is equal to 0. So, yung forces natin kay AB and AF, 0 na po sila parehas kasi kailangan naka-equilibrium. So, ganun din naman sa joint D. Okay? Sa joint D, medyo nakakalito siya if you think about it kasi, sir, pagka tumingin ka sa joint C, parang kala mo may makukuhang force si CD. Kasi vertical, di ba? So, in this case, maisip natin na baka yung load na to is may makakuha dito. Okay? Kaya lang same idea. Kapag kay nag-joint D, kay joint D, nag-summation moment tayo, or equilibrium dapat siya, ng summation forces pala, sorry. We know na lahat ng forces na meron yung, kahit may angle man yan, di ba? Kahit may angle man yan, magkakaroon tayo ng zero force member kasi wala tayong external force na in-apply sa kanya. At the same time, wala siyang support na nakakonect sa kanya. So in this case, both DE and DC is also zero force members. So in a way, we may conclude that from these observations, if only two collinear members from a toss joint and no external load or support reaction, as I said kanina, yung members na meron doon is zero force member. Yung dalawang members na kinompute mo. Kasi of course, may connection yan. Hindi naman pwedeng isa lang, di ba? Walang sense kung sakali na one member lang. Hindi na trust yun. Wala rin siyang joint if ever man, one member. So, kailangan at least 2. So, thus, only 5 members. So, itong 5 members na to, yung sa tingin natin na merong loads na nararamdaman. Again, doesn't necessarily mean na meron. Dun pa lang natin, na-lesson lang natin yung kailangan natin gawin. Okay? Pero hindi rin kasi laging wala or di rin laging meron. Okay? Kaya nga tayo papasok dun sa method of joints. We have just simplified, inalam lang natin kung ano yung mismong sure tayong may zero force member. Okay? So, for the example, this particular example, hindi na natin wag natin alamin yung values. Gusto ko lang makita nyo kung paano alamin kung ano yung zero force members. Okay? So, assume again, all joints are pin connected. Ibig sabihin, nakapin lang siya, you will just direct yung mismong load again to the next or to the adjacent member. Okay? Again, ito naman yung assumption natin pagdating sa truss na pin connected silang lahat. So, we have here a truss. Okay, you think roof truss siya. So, may loads tayo kay joint B and joint C. Ngayon, saan tayo pwedeng magkaroon ng zero force members? So, pwede tayo magkaroon ng zero force members. Una sa lahat is sa point G. Okay, sa point G. Bakit? Kapag tinignan natin or sineperate natin si joint G, may joint G, yung HG tsaka FG, silang dalawa lang yung magkokontrahan. And wala tayong forces na vertical pagdating sa point G. Okay, joint G to ha, joint G. Ibig sabihin, si FGC ay a zero force member. Kasi kapag ginamit natin si joint G, summation forces Y, yun lang yung meron. Hindi natin pwedeng gamitin si joint C. Okay? We realize na hindi natin pwedeng gamitin. Again, nalaman lang natin si member GC ay zero force member kung ginamit natin si joint G. Hindi natin na siya malalaman kapag ginamit natin si joint C. Kasi nga, ang daming unknown. Ang unknown mo dyan is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? So, pero dahil nga nalaman na natin na unknowns at sa GC natin, member GC is 0, we can safely assume na yung 5 kilonewtons is hahatiin lang natin dun sa apat na members. Whereas that is CB, CH, CF, and CD. Kasi nga, nag-0 naman na si CG. Okay, 0 na siya. Ibig sabihin, yung ibang members na yung maghahati dun sa loads na meron si 5 kilonewtons. Another part is kung saan natin sa tingin meron pang unknown, meron pang zero force member is, if you want to pause nyo kung gusto nyo munang hulaan, pero that is yung joint D. Bakit? Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina sa inyo na pwede kayong mag-rotate ng axis. Okay? Pwede kayong mag-rotate ng axis. In this particular case, ang nirotate natin si axis, so si y-axis natin is yung along DC and DE. Then yung x-axis natin is DF. Again, pwede naman magkabaliktad dyan, walang problema. Okay? Pwedeng ito yung x, ito yung y, ito yung x. Kasi pag nag-summation forces ka naman, hindi naman magbabago yan. Ngayon, sa joint D, kapag ka nag-summation forces x and y ka na, you could know na yung summation forces x mo, in this particular case, wala ka namang force na kukontra dun sa DF. Okay? So in this case, we could know na yung DF natin is equal to 0. So next is sa joint F. Okay? Sa joint F, fairly, if you look at the joint F, mapapansin nyo, sir, 4 yung unknowns. Parang ang hassle para malaman yung zero force members. Kaya lang, nalaman na natin from joint D na 0 si DF. And walang ibig sabihin, si FC mismo, walang kailangan kontrahin. Kasi ang may vertical forces lang dyan is si FC and si DF. And nagkataon si DF 0. So, ibig sabihin, si FC rin natin is equal to 0. Okay? Equal to 0 din siya. Ngayon, diyan natin pwedeng malaman kung ano yung mga zero force members. Hindi ko na tinuro or di ko na pinakita kung paano kunin yung ibang parts, okay, yung ibang members. Kasi if you want, you could use the method of joints again on your own. In this particular sample kasi, ang in-emphasize ko is yung pagkuha ng zero force members. If you want to try to get all members, go. Try nyo para ma-practice nyo. Okay? Again, if you want to know kung paano, in this particular case, I think mag-reactions kayo. Kasi kapag kay joint C kayo, masyadong maraming unknowns. Kay 2, pwede rin naman. Pero magkakaroon ka pa rin ng equation kapag nag-rotate ka ng member, di ba? Ng axis. May unknown ka dun sa AB and CB. Diba? So, pwede rin naman, yun nga, usually, talagang ang start ng kahit anong methods natin sa nidi-discuss natin ngayon is kinukuha muna yung reactions. Depende lang talaga sa figure if you can get yung members na pinapahanap without getting the support reactions, pwede po. Pero usually talaga ang starting ng ating discussion or ating computation, is getting the support reactions or global equilibrium reactions. So next is sa method of sections. So a method of sections, guys, from that name itself, sinesection natin yung ating truss. Okay? Nagkakat tayo. So dito kailangan natin malaman ito ang advantage ng section, guys. Ang advantage ng section, mabilis siya. Lalong-lalo na if ever yung pinapahanap sa ating members is nasa gitna ng truss or nasa gitna ng structures. Isipin nyo na lang, if ever nasa gitna kasi pinapahalap na particular particular member, kapag nag-join ka, kailangan usually mag-start ka talaga dun sa labas, or either sa labas, or dun sa point na meron kang external load. Ngayon, kapag method of sections, you just need to get yung reactions or support reactions, tapos magpuputol ka na. Again, that is the advantage ng method of sections. Medyo mabilis siya, and kailangan mo nga lang alamin kung ano yung puputulin mo. So specified usually kapag talagang ang ideal ko or ang pinapagawa ko sa students ko, if ever hindi lahat, okay, pag hindi lahat ng members pinapahanap, mas magandang mag-sections na lang tayo. Okay? Pero kasi kapag pag pinapahanap lahat, might as well mag-joints ka na lang kasi lahat din naman ay hahanapin mo. Kapag nag-method of joints ka, lahat talaga dadaanan mo. Pag na-method of sections ka, kung ano lang kasi yung pinutol mo, yun lang yung maahanap mong force ng member. Okay? So, consider ito, yung sample sa gilid, 'di ba? Nagputol tayo. For example, pinutol natin yung color yung putol natin is yung color blue. Okay? So, yung left part, itong part na to, is ito yung pinutol natin. Kapag po pinutol natin 'yan, in a way, you're just dissecting kung ano yung itsura niya kapag pinutol mo siya. And still naka-tension pa rin siya kung tension yung mismong body or yung mismong member. Ngayon, pag compression, ganun pa rin naman. Sadyang pinutol mo lang talaga siya. Okay? So, kailangan pa rin still, kapag pinapahaba or pinupull mo siya, that is in tension. Kapag pinupush mo siya, that is compression. Still, hindi pa rin magbabago yan. Okay? So, the method of sections approach may be used for cutting or sectioning the members of a whole truss. Again, yung buong truss, puputol ka doon ng ibang members. Hindi lahat, of course, hindi lahat. The section passes through the truss and the free body diagram of one of its two sections is drawn. The equations of equilibrium can then be applied to the part that decide the members' forces in the cut section. Basically, sinasabi yung red na paragraph dyan, kung ano yung kinakat mo, for example, nagkat ka na ng truss. Yung truss is, pag kinat mo, madalas yan either left part or right part. Kung ano yung sa tingin nyo na mas mapapadali yung paggamit nyo ng method of sections, yun yung piliin nyo. Yun yung punto nyo. Ibig sabihin, kahit yung left part or right part, parehas lang po ang lalabas na dapat na sagot. And dahil nga, kapag nag-cut tayo, pag nag-cut tayo ng ating section, or ng truss, kapag kinat na natin siya, still, ang ikinoconsider natin is yung reactions, support reactions, external loads, and of course, yung part na pinutol nyo. Kung ano lang yung part na pinutol nyo, yun lang yung considered na hahanapin yung load. Okay, mamaya mas matatakil naman natin siya in that sample. Ngayon, dahil nga may distance na tayong pwedeng magamit, pwede na tayong gumamit ng summation moment dito. So, summation forces X, summation forces Y, and summation moment at any point, pwede tayong gumamit. Okay? So, again, generally speaking, dahil nga tatlong equations or equilibrium equations lang yung pwede natin gamitin, it is usually used na tatlo lang din yung puputulin nating members para mas mapadali yung ating pagkuha ng members. Bakit? Kasi kapag nagputol ka ng tatlo, ibig sabihin tatlo lang unknown mo. Dahil tatlo yung unknown mo, as I always said, kung ilan yung unknown yung kailangan mong equations. So, dahil tatlong equations na pwede gamitin, might as well, tatlong members lang yung putulin natin para hindi tayo mahirapan. Okay, so imagine nyo, ito yung truss na gusto natin putulin. Okay? So, ang putol natin dito, pinapahanap daw is si member B. For example lang ha, member BC, member CG, and member GF. So, nagkataon, pwede siyang kahatiin mismo sa gitna. So, pag naghati kayo, again, pwede pong yung left or yung right part. Kahit ano pwede nyong gamitin. Just to remember, na kapag kayong left part, ang pinutol nyo, ang meron lang tayo is yung external load. Kapag yung right part yung ginamit natin, kailangan nating alamin si summation si dy, dx, and ex. Kailangan pa natin silang alamin in that particular sample. Ngayon, we could also see na kung saan ka nagputol. Okay, kung saan ka nagputol. As I said kanina, in this case, nagputol tayo sa gitna ng BC, GC, and FG. So, kung saan ka nagputol, yun yung mga unknowns na gusto mong hanapin. So, in this case, FBC, FGC, and FGF. Ganun din naman dito, di ba? Again, mapapansin nyo, nakabaliktad lang yung arrow. Again, kailangan nyo malaman to pagdating sa method of sections. Yung assumption nyo dito sa right, for example, sa left part, is assumption nyo kay BC is papunta sa point C. Okay, papunta siya sa point C. Sa kabila, if ever man, sa kabilang part na kayo gagamit or gagamitin nyo yung kabilang part, remember na papunta dapat siya sa point B naman. Okay? So, in this case, mapapansin nyo na naka-tension, yung assumption natin kay FBC is naka-tension. Okay? So, ganun po. Kailangan nating malaman kung ano yung assumption. Again, assumption lang naman yan. Kapag nag-negative yan, baliktad lang yung arrow na ginawa mo. Okay? Again, that is the idea. Pag nag-section ka, kinat mo dyan. Kailangan mo malaman kung ano yung gusto mong alamin. Kailangan mo alaman kung ano yung unknown. So, in this case, ito, at ito. And I think, mas madali yung magiging computation natin pag ginamit natin si left part. Kasi wala nating unknown dyan. Not unlike dun sa right, meron ka pang tatlong unknown na kailangan hanapin. So, yun yung idea kapag gusto nating alamin kung anong side yung gagamitin natin. Okay? So, let's try to do an example. So, determine the forces in the members GE, GC, and BC nung truss na meron tayo. Ito po. So, indicate whether the members are in tension or compression. So, gusto nating kunin si GE, GC, and BE. So, again, nagkataon na yung cut natin is along. Okay? Along sa tatlong to, so ito yung tatlo yung ikakat natin. Yan. So, dahil dyan tayo nag-cut, again, kailangan nating mamili. Okay, kailangan nating mamili kung anong side yung gagamitin natin. But before we do that, mapapansin nyo naman, in both sides, meron tayong unknown talaga na reactions. So, might as well, kunin na muna natin si reactions. So, doon tayo sa global equilibrium, nung mismong bago tayo mag-cut, okay, bago mag-cut, kunin nyo muna si reaction. Pwede yon. So, kunin natin si reactions. May figure lang, pinakita lang kung ano yung kung ano yung assumption natin for the reactions, okay? So, nag-assume tayo na may reactions na ito, yung mga arrows nila. So, ayan. So, assumptions, then kunin natin again si reactions. So, summation forces X, dahil X, ang tanging meron naman tayong X is 400 lang. So, 400 not positive minus AX kasi nga papunta sa left yung ating AX, meron tayong makuhang AX na 400. Next is, kunin natin is si dy. Kasi pwede tayong mag-moment kay point A na mawawala si AX and AY. So, point A, nag-moment tayo. Meron tayong 1,200 newtons na may 8 na distance. So, dito guys, hindi ko na nabago, pasensya. Pero kasi yung sa libro is ito. Again, regardless naman kung anong assumption yung ginamit, dapat yung mismo reaction parehas lang yan. You can try to use clockwise positive. Dapat ang makukuha nyo is dy na positive 900 pa rin. Okay? So, ito, gets nyo naman na dapat kung paano mag-moment. Okay? So, in this case, ang meron ng tayong unknown is si dy nga. So, kaya natin sa kuha si dy. Then, lastly, summation forces y. Meron tayong ay na unknown and yung ating external ng 1, 2, and yung ating nakuhang dy na 900. So, may makukuha tayong ay na 300. Okay? So, with that, meron na tayo ng reactions. So, pwede na tayong mamili kung anong side yung gagamitin natin. So, in this case, ang ginamit ko po ay yung left side. Again, if you want to use the right side, wala rin pong problema yan. Pwede nyong gamitin si right side. Okay? Dapat parehas lang ang makukuha sa lahat ng yan. Just remember na kapag yung right side yung ginamit natin, magbabaliktad yung ating arrows dito. Okay, yung arrow na yan. Okay. So, again, yung left side yung ginamit ko. We'll try to get lahat ng members na hinahanap. So, in this case, ang hinahanap natin is yung GE, GC, and BC nga. So, saan tayo pwedeng mag-moment? Usually, moment talaga starting ng method of sections pag after mo magputol. Bakit? Kasi nga, in each point, in each joint, malalaman mo na meron ka talagang laging at least 2 na nakakonect in each joint, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, kapag nag-moment ka dun sa joint na yon, meron at merong matatanggal na dalawa. Palagi. At least na dalawa. Okay? So, in this case, nag-moment muna ako sa point G. Okay? Pag nag-moment kasi ako sa point G, mawawala si GE and si GC. Kasi pareha silang walang perpendicular distance sa point G. So, ang matitira sa aking unknown is si BC. Okay? So, si BC lang ang matitira sa aking unknown. Ang gagamitin ko na meron dapat sa kanya is still yung 300 and 400. Bakit? Kasi meron pa rin siyang perpendicular distance sa G. Okay? So, ngayon, we can get yung FBC natin by simply getting the summation moment at point G. Again, still, naka-counterclockwise positive lang to kasi yung ginamit ko is nasa libro na rin. Pero, in our solution, again, in our solutions, gagamitin mo natin is clockwise positive and still parehas pa rin naman ang makukuha. Okay? So, may makuha tayong FBC and dahil nga yung FBC natin na inassume dito is papunta or palayo. Okay, palayo dun sa point point B or magla-lengthen yung ating member, naka-tension siya. Next part. Sir, saan ako pwede mag-moment? Okay? Pwede kayong mag-summation forces, pwede kayong mag-summation Y, kaya lang yung unknown mo, ang dami pa rin pag nagkataon. So, kailangan yung maghanap ng point kung saan may makakancel ulit na unknown. Okay? So, dahil nga, ang hinahanap na lang natin is si GC or GEC and GE, kapag nag-moment tayo sa point C, ang mawawala naman dito in this part is yung GC. Yung GC. Bakit? Kasi, pag nag-moment ka nga sa point C, wala pa rin perpendicular distance si GC. Okay? So, dahil wala pa rin siyang perpendicular distance, si GE mahahanap natin. Okay? So, again, summation moment at point C, gagamitin natin dyan is si 300 lang, and wala na si 400 kasi along siya sa point C. Okay? Again, kapag walang perpendicular distance, hindi nyo po pwedeng gamitin yung moment na yon kasi magkakaroon siya ng zero distance. Zero na mismo yung moment. Okay? So, in this case, FGE yung hinahanap and meron siyang distance na 3 meters. So, may makukuha tayong FGE. And mapapansin nyo, papunta siya dun sa mismong kung saan ka nag-moment. Okay? So, papunta siya, or makapapansin nyo, papunta siya sa mismong kung saan ka nag-moment, kaya siya naka-compression. Okay? Then lastly, pwede ka nang mag-summation forces. FG pala tayo kanina, no? So, ayun. Papunta siya dun sa point G. Papunta siya sa point G. My bad. Papunta siya sa point G, kaya siya nag-compression. Then lastly, summation forces Y. Bakit summation forces Y na? Kasi lahat naman ng forces meron na tayo. Okay, wala na tayong unknown dito sa cut natin. So, ang tanging unknown na lang natin is si FGC. And, pagka nag-summation forces X tayo, ang dami pa natin gagamitin. FBC, FGE, 300, yung 400. Yun yung gagamitin natin. So, might as well, gamitin na lang natin is yung 300 or yung nag-iisang vertical force natin na external. Then, Ayan. So before we proceed dun sa next part, yung frames and machines, pasensya na putol yung slide ko kanina. So, I think napakita naman yung final answer. Understand nyo na lang, intindihin nyo kung paano naging ganun yung final answer. Kasi, kesa ulitin ko yung particular slide na yon. So, please do understand na next kasi yung slide. Kaya, intindihin nyo na lang, okay, kung paano naging ganun yung sagot. I think medyo madali naman siyang intindihin. So, punta tayo sa frames and machines. So frame and machines, guys, frames are that are often built to carry loads and are typically fixed, entirely restricted structures as well. So ang frames kasi, guys, kung sa trusses kanina, each intersection or each point nagkakaroon ka ng joint. Sa frames kasi hindi. Kumbaga may bend yung mismong body, okay? May bend yung mismong member, may mga liko yung mismong member, tapos wala siyang joint. Okay, kaya siya nagiging frame. Kumbaga trusses siya na may mga iba't ibang, hindi lang siya straight. Okay? Kapag trusses kasi usually straight lang talaga yan. As in straight, tapos joint, member, joint, member, joint, member, joint. Yung frames, usually, connected siya sa multiple joints, tapos isang buong frame lang siya, o isang buong structure lang siya. Okay? So next, however, frames are often involve at least one multi-force member. Ibig sabihin, maraming force na nararamdaman yung mismong member natin. So, a member applied by 3 or more forces are not usually directed along the member. So machines naman are designed for transmitting and manipulating forces. Ibig sabihin, nagtatranslate tayo ng load from another point to another force or member to another. Or also machines are containing moving parts. So machines like frames are often contain at least one member of multiple forces. Okay, so yun nga yung point ng frames and machines, kaya almost same sila ng pagko-compute. Not almost. Same sila ng pagko-compute ng internal forces na nararamdaman ng each member. So, forces acting at the joints and supports can be calculated by applying equations of equilibrium. So, summation forces X, summation forces Y, and summation moments. So, each member, kailangan natin alamin yung nararamdaman niyang force. Okay? So, ang mechanics kasi usually ng frames natin is sineseparate natin yung FBD, okay, yung FBD ng each member. Okay, each member. Kasi marami nga siyang force na nararamdaman. So makikita niyo siya later. So dun sa sample itself. So the structure must be disassembled and the Fibonacci diagram of each part drawn to establish forces acting on the joints and supports of a frame. So again, sineseparate mo nga siya each part. So kailangan yung each member may separate siyang drawing para hindi siya hindi siya nakalito. So isolate each part by drawing its sketch out shape. Okay, kailangan pa rin yung shape niya, kailangan pa rin yung dimensions niya. And of course, para malaman mo kung saan may moments, kung saan forces lang, kung ano yung unknown at hindi. Kailangan may label siya. Next is identify all two force members in the structure and depict their free body diagrams by having two equal but opposite collinear forces. Bakit? Kailangan mong malaman kung ano yung may connections. Kasi kung saan may connections, yung translation ng kanyang force sa kabila ay same magnitude pero opposite direction. Okay? So next is the common forces of any two contacting members on the act on these respective members with similar magnitudes but opposite sense. So same lang naman dun sa kanina ang sinabi ko. Okay? So basahin nyo lang to on your own if you want. Pause the video if you want. Doon tayo sa mismong itsura ng magiging members. So, ganito itsura usually ng simple frame lang. Okay? So, meron kang loads P and Q. So, meron daw tayong load na P and Q na binigay. Okay? Again, you can imagine na ang frames natin, guys, para siyang beam na kinonect to each others. Okay? Kasi, pwede ka talaga magkaroon ng load sa gitna ng mga frames. Okay? Sa gitna. So, para siyang beam na kinonect mo sa isa't isa. So, yung each beam na magkakonnect, yung reactions niya itself is yung mga support reactions din na meron tayo. So, in this case, sa point A, point C, and point B, meron tayong pin connections. So, ibig sabihin, at each point na yan, meron tayong X and Y components. Okay, na reactions. So, kapag hinimay po natin yan, yung global equilibrium muna tayo, okay? So, meron tayong AX, AY, BX, and BY. So, dahil nga meron kang parehas pin sa A and B. Ngayon, dahil sinabi natin na pagdating sa frames and machines, isa-separate mo yung each member. So, in this case, yung each member na meron tayo is yung AC tsaka yung BC. So, kapag dinrawing nyo siya mismo dun sa mismong FBD nyo, ang itsura niya magiging ganito. Okay? So, separate si AC kay BC. And, mapapansin nyo, pagdating sa point C, guys, equal dapat si CX sa AB, CX kay AC, tapos CX kay BC. Pero, magkaiba sila ng direction. So, kung ito papunta sa left, dapat ito papunta sa right. Ibig sabihin na tra-translate lang niya yung mismong load na meron from another member to the other. So, ganun din naman si CY. So, same magnitude, different direction. So, ito yung, if you want, another notes lang na pwedeng tandaan pagdating sa pagkuha or paggamit ng method of frames. Ito yung tinatawag ng method of frames. Okay? So, if you want, basahin nyo na lang on your own, dun tayo sa sample problem. You can pause the video if you want. So, dun tayo sa example natin. So, in the frame shown, members A, C, E, and BC are connected by a pin at point C. Okay? So, meron daw tayong member A, C, E. So, mapapansin nyo, buo yan. Buo yan na nakikita nyo. Hindi siya cut. I think, if you want, nandun siya sa libro, Vectors for Engineers tayo. If malabo sa video nyo, if you want. Then, again, meron tayong member A, C, E, and B, C, D. And yung dalawang members natin is also connected by another member or link member na DE. So, in this case, tatlo yung members na meron tayo. Okay? Hindi siya, again, katulad ng truss na each point ay naka-joint eh. Okay? So, hindi po ganun. So, ang pinapahanap sa atin is yung force na nararamdaman ni DE and yung components ng force na na-exert dun sa C. Okay? Ito daw sa point C. So, yun yung pinapahanap sa atin. So, before we do that, we'll just draw yung FBD natin. So, ganito yung tsura. Sinama lang mismo yung AY, AX, and B. So, bakit B lang? Kasi naka-roller yan. Okay? So, pwedeng ilagay nyo BX, walang problema. Ngayon, saang member tayo, may makukuhang sagot agad. Doon tayo magtatalo. Again, any member pwede nyong gamitin as long as alam nyo sana kung ano yung unknowns and external forces para alam nyo or malesen yung gagamitin yung trabaho. Okay? So again, before we divide, okay, bago natin kunin yung each members, babalik at babalik tayo sa global equilibrium or yung reactions na naka-connected dun sa mga pader natin. So, kunin muna natin sila. Summation forces Y for the whole body. Ito nung buong body. So, meron tayong AY na pataas and 480 na pababa. So, magkakaroon tayong AY na 480. Next is, kunin natin si B. Okay? So, para natin kunin si B, hanap kayo ng point na pwede kayong mawawala. Yung mga unknowns na meron tayo. Okay? So, in my case, sa point A ako, nag-moment. So, meron tayong, tama, sa point A ako nag-moment. So, 480 times 100. Okay? So, ito kasi siya, 100. Okay, so, we have here, yung 480 and yung distance niya from point A is 100. Then, minus tayo kay BX. So, si BX kasi ginamit ko, or B, pwede rin naman, walang problema. Multiply mo siya ng 160 kasi yung perpendicular distance siya kay A. So, may makuha ka, of course, na BX na 300. So, lastly, summation forces X. So, summation forces X, ang meron ka lang naman is AX. So, AX and yung 300. So, 300 newtons. So, meron ka na nung AX, BX, and AY mo. So, ngayon, again, balik tayo dun sa mismong figure. Ano kaya sa tingin nating member yung pwede natin gamitin na makukuha na agad natin yung mga final answer? So, in this case, ang meron tayong pwedeng gamiting member is si member BCD. Okay? Kasi yung hinahanap natin is sakto eh. Ang hinahanap daw natin is yung load na nararamdaman ni DE and yung components na nararamdaman ng joint C. Or nung pin C. Sorry. So, sakto. Maganda na yung BCD yung gamitin nating member. Again, pwede ka naman gamitin yung ACE, pwede yung gamitin mo. Kaya lang ang hassle, hindi naman yun yung pinapahanap. Baga, long cut yun, if ever. Pero pwede nga, again, same pa rin ang dapat makuha natin. So, from this case, kapag ka ganito, sineparate mo na yung mismong member, and of course, the whole member is in equilibrium, dapat each member naka-equilibrium din. Okay? So, dahil dyan, pwede ka na nga kumuha again gagamit ka na ng summation forces X, summation forces Y, and summation moment. Okay? At any point, as long as you know, again, kung ano yung perpendicular distance, pwede kayo mag-moment. So, unahin ko na summation moment at C. Bakit? Kasi makakancel agad yung point, yung CY and CX. Simple as that. So, makakancel siya. Ang meron tayo is, of course, yung 480 na i-multiply natin sa distance na 100. Okay? Yung 300 na i-multiply sa distance na 60. And yung FDE, okay, yung FDE natin na may, of course, dapat, dahil naka-angle siya, okay, kunin mo yung X and Y components, yung X component mawawala kasi mawawalan distance sa C, and yung kukunin mo is yung Y component. Okay, so yung Y component ni FDE, na meron tayong 100 plus 150. Kaya siya 250. And if you want, again, if you want to use or to know yung alpha, ito lang din naman siya. Okay? Pagkuha ng angle, trigo na lang yan. So, arctan, gumamit lang siya. Alamin nyo na kung paano ginamit yung arctan, pero nag-arctan lang siya. Okay? So, of course, naka-simplify, naka-round off dito. In your own solutions, hindi po pwedeng naka-round off. Remember na dapat naka-store function siya. Okay? So, with that, may makukuha tayong FDE. So, yung FDE na makukuha natin ay negative. So, nagkaroon tayo ng negative FDE. Ibig sabihin, yung dapat na magiging direction ng ating FDE is pataas. Pag ganito dapat siya, yung FDE natin. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, mali lang yung assumption natin na FDE kanina. Walang problema yan pag nagkamali yung assumption, kabilang direction lang yan. So, magkakaroon ka dapat ng FDE na naka-compression. Okay? Imbis na tension. Compression po siya. Okay? So, next is meron ka ng FDE. Kunin mo na si CY and CX. So, paano? Summation forces X ka muna. So, summation forces X, you have yung CX, yung 300, and yung horizontal component ng FDE. So, meron ka naman ng alpha. Okay? Kung naka-store function yan sa inyo, madali. Okay? Kesa itatype pa ulit. So, magkakaroon kayo ng final answer na sa CX na negative 795. So, ibig sabihin again, baliktad again yung assumption natin na CX. So, dapat papunta siya sa left. Okay? So, dapat papunta siya sa left. So, mapapansin nyo, ito yung final answer ko. Ito. Nakalagay naman, or in-indicate ko yung direction. So, ito na rin. Linyahan ko na lang din to para makita nyo yung final answers. And lastly, we have yung ating summation forces Y. So, sa summation forces Y, meron ka na lang din naman dyan yung CY, of course. CY. Then, yan, CY. Then, yung 480. And, of course, yung vertical component ng FDE. So, magkakaroon ka ng final answer na CY na 216 newtons. So, yan yung magiging final answers natin. Okay? And if you want, guys, pwede nyo namang i-recheck yung mga sagot nyo using the other members. Dapat parehas po ang magiging sagot. Okay? So again, you want to know kung anong member yung gagamitin nyo para malesen yung workload nyo pagdating sa exams or assessments. Pero any member na gamitin nyo, as long as you know kung ano yung unknowns and kung ano yung external forces na meron siya, including yung support reactions, parehas lang po dapat yung magiging final answers natin. Okay? So, thank you for listening. I hope you have understood yung topic natin for today. Okay? So, if you have questions, feel free to ask your instructors, me, Engineer Jimena, and Engineer Frugnit anytime, if ever man you have time. So, thank you for listening.